Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of Transport Fever 2 India Edition, where we're now witnessing our first ever electric train leaving New Delhi. We expanded the high-speed train network all the way up here. It was quite a painstaking task because we had to convert the existing rail lines into high-speed tracks and make them electric. Now, things have been going pretty well for this line. It started to make so much more income, but with that becomes so much more expenses because of the type of trains that we do have, but they can obviously now go super fast. Now, looking back at New Delhi right now, boys, it's going to be a massive city, and I'm a little bit worried about it. Only because, boys, its target size is estimated to be absolutely huge. When I click on it right now, the target population is 710. When I kind of compare this right now to cities and go for the biggest city size, Bangalore's target population is 284. And with everything that we've done to Bangalore, it's now grown to be the biggest city. But New Delhi, its target, and what it's going to be after the multipliers, is terrifying. Which I feel like we're going to have to do a bigger, more expansive network in this city. Now, I've got an idea, right? I'm going to treat this episode as an experiment, guys, okay? We're going to completely treat this episode as an experiment. And what I want to do is I want to create a stacked station. Now, hear me out here, guys. Hear me out. We have learned in the past, when it comes to building how we've built these stations, we've got the high-speed train line in the middle, and then we've got the commuter lines either side, okay? You can kind of see it down here in Bangalore as well. Now, it works out great, but when you start bringing the two commuter lines here to the areas around, it brings a lot more people to the high-speed train network, and that's glorious. We make a bunch of cash money moolah. But we have discovered that the commuter lines also share the lines with the cargo, and when you get loads of trains on it, you then have to then extend the one side or whatever side the cargo trains are on of the commuter line to also have a bypassing line, which works absolutely beautiful. Now that's great when these cities' target populations are not that big. Now, when it comes to New Delhi, I built this station different. I built it as a dual kind of entry point here for the high-speed trains. They're able to use both sides. So we can kind of get them in, unload them, load them, get them straight back out with absolute ease. Now, because the city wants to become so big, the commuter lines are going to be a little bit different, guys. I did suggest last episode about doing streetcars and trams. I don't think they're going to have the capacity to be able to take people to and from the areas, especially when New Delhi finally eventually grows. The only thing stopping it being this size right now is time. That's all it is. You got to give it time to grow to that size. So I'm thinking a stacked station. For the first time ever, I've never actually built one of these ever before, but since we've unlocked the elevated train lines, I'm going to build an elevated station on top of this station, and that will be for our commuter lines, and our high-speed train lines stay on the ground. Now with that, I can then build a commuter line that starts in Lahore down to, is it Amritsar? Amritsar? I can't even pronounce these places. I do apologize, guys. To Lud, into New Delhi, to Jaipur, and then Ajmer, and then wherever we choose to kind of make it go. But it will kind of come in here, not having to share the line, not have to destroy more of the city to build the line, not have it share the same station. It'll be an elevated station, and then we can do one that then comes this way down and then round and out. Sounds crazy, right? I kind of have to show you guys to kind of, probably for you guys to understand what I'm trying to attempt here. But I'm going to treat this as an experiment, okay? This is going to be a complete experiment, this episode. And if I can get it right, then I can create a loop on the ground with streetcars to complement the elevated train lines and stack station. And then when we start bringing cargo in, New Delhi is going to be scarily huge. I can't express how scary the city is going to be. So I've got the elevated train tracks here. I've got the elevated station. And if I was to build it directly above, Let me just place it down. You ready for this? Right. I've placed it on top, which is terrifying. Now, it looks ridiculous. It looks really high as well. I might lower that. But I just want to see, as this experiment, we should be able to, and I can't because it's not far over enough. So let me just delete you. Right, let me just delete the station again. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Back to this. Height we'll put at 10. Okay, 10. I don't think 10's enough. We'll do 15. And what we want it to do, boys, is be slightly hanging over the edge. Now, I could bring it all the way to the end there. That could be kind of funky as well, but you know what? We actually will. Bring it slightly over the edge. Now, the reason we bring it slightly over the edge is so that we can get the elevated parts of it to connect to the outer side. And still looking at it, I need to bring it over a little bit more. We got two platforms. One goes underneath and one sticks over the edge. And we need the one on the edge to stick over a little bit more just so I can get a connection to the road. So let's try that one more time, boys. Let's spin this right round. I don't know whether I want it to go across right to the building. So if I put it there right now, that is now completely staggered all the way over, right? Well, at least I think it is. It is. It actually is. So if I built a connection there. If I built a... Oh, we're going to have to extend the line just a tiny bit more. A connection just there. Now, the tough part is I've got to get it to connect all the way and hang over the other side to get that road connection as well. Which, because it is already staggered, it's going to mean building it is going to be slightly staggered as well. So, next question is, elevated tracks. Will all this... Would it all actually work, is the question. Now, what I'm going to do is we're going to build it like this. And because of the size of it, we'll get the elevated platform. So you'll have, obviously, the platform in the middle like this going as normal. We might have to build it with a single bypassing route. We might not use the bypassing route unless I double up on the platforms like this to kind of give us, right, the additional bulk to hang over two lines and connect down. This will make sense right now. If I do it here, right, 1, 2, elevated platform, boom. Now, is that hanging over enough to drop down the elevator? No, it's not. So, saying that then, we actually might be able to have... Well, I mean, I don't know if you can kind of consider it a bypassing route. I don't know if that would be the case, but we could have a third line in the middle, which could either be utilized as bypassing routes, elevated tracks I need, or just another third option for the trains coming in and out, having a third commuter line, because New Delhi is going to be so huge. There's a lot of cities around it, so it could be wise to actually have another commuter line. Now, they're not going to have bypassing lines because it's elevated train station. You don't have the ability to do that, unfortunately, because we're not going to have cargo running on this line into New Delhi. We'll get it to run in a different fashion. Right, this is going to destroy those buildings around, but we've discovered, boys, it all grows back. Now, is this hanging over too much is the next question. The great thing about it, though, is if it is hanging over too much, which that is not, we do have the option to do the platform lifts that go on the inner side. So if I put you there, can I put this one here instead and then delete this one? So I want to get it trying at least symmetrical. This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous, but I absolutely love it. Now, I'm going to extend it by one more, just on the off chance I'm able to get a third one in here, which I'm not going to be able to because of the cargo there. So what I might do is actually quickly go back into this and delete the 2 cargo stops. And we'll do the cargo in a different way. All right, we gotta do it like that. We'll do the cargo. Actually, we could have made that stay cargo, but it doesn't really matter, does it? It doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. Right, miscellaneous. The canopy just there, and there. So get out of this, back onto the one upstairs. Let me get the elevated tracks now in. So that should allow us right now with the elevated passenger building to go there. And that one to go, let me just make sure I get it right, just there. This is wild. I've never built it like this before, guys. I've never built it like this before. This is going to be wild for New Delhi. It really is. Right, I can actually put little connection extensions on the areas that don't stick out far enough. On the areas that don't, I will throw it on to, you know, kind of increase the connectivity. Now, in the miscellaneous, we've got to do a lot of stuff here now, guys. We've got to do railings to make sure people don't fall off the platform. Safety first, guys. I don't want no one suing us. No, you can put them on the end as well. This is a ridiculous stacked station. This is a ridiculously stacked station. So that puts them on the end there. We do the canopy covers. If it rains, you don't want no one to get wet, do we, boys? Alright, bam, 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 bam. I can't wait to see what this looks like from a distance right now. This is going to be hilarious. It really is. But the question is, though, do I keep it? Is it something that should stay? Right, underpass is there. Underpass is there. Underpass is here. Right, let's take a look. Should this stay? This is this is wild. It really is wild. Has a great radius. It doesn't really reach over there, but that's where we'll get all the, you know, ground connections all added in. But look at it. I like how you can see the underpasses, but the high-speed train lines, they come in underneath. This is amazing. This is actually amazing right now. We have a stacked station. Oh, this is glorious, guys. This is actually glorious. So we've got it in. So it makes sense then to actually create a line. So what I reckon I'm going to do, right, is I'm going to make it go from Jaipur to Lud here. We'll just make it go for a 3-station stop on the right-hand side here. This line. We've got a middle line there that can kind of maybe continue to go somewhere else or go this way around. We've got the outer line which can kind of bend around and go this way. We've got a few options. We do have a few options to which we can do. That middle line can maybe start up over here, come down in, and then off it goes, you know, here, there, and everywhere. So this could be intriguing is the best way to put it. So let's start then with these two cities on that one side and just kind of see how it would kind of work. So we'll make it go into Jaipur right now. Right, and we'll set this up. Where obviously you go across there. And the station's built within the center. Now, how we're going to build it there is similar to how we've built it in Nasik over here. The same that we've built in Nanded right now. Other towns have kind of done similar stuff to it. You can see over here in Gulbarga. You know, there's nothing different to how we've built this anywhere else. So, building-wise... no, sorry, gotta be on rail. Building-wise, we need the passenger station, which would go here. It's going to have a bypassing track, so it doesn't need to be high speed. And we're going to quickly configure this. So, track-wise... Alright, get it all in. We delete the N1 there for the cargo platform. And this is all passenger platform just here. So miscellaneous, you need the underpass going in. You need the passenger buildings, which too big. Is that not touching? Oh, snap. Hold on. I just realized the elevation change. Going downhill. Right. What I'm going to have to do, boys, is delete you. delete all of that. Right, the city will grow back, don't worry. There we go. We'll quickly terraform it as much as we can. We're just going to smoothen the area off. So smoothing it as much as we can. Won't be perfect, but it will work for us. Now, bring that directly across. That still doesn't technically now. It's actually now gone lower. So let's build it in stages. So coming across here. So there it will get in touch and reach it, which is great. All the way to the edge. And then from here, you would connect in like that. And then just smoothing the area off. And then all of this should eventually merge and build itself all together. So it is what it is on the terrain. You can't really do much about that. Can't really do much about that at all. But that's our first stop there, which will be the first commuter line into New Delhi. Now, what I'll quickly do is we'll set up the train tracks leading in and out. And so this will run directly through. This will run directly through. Just so when the city does grow, at least we've got the train tracks in, so they won't build over my train tracks. Right. Try and make these pretty short so I can get my crisscross in here. Plenty of room. But even with all that room, it still doesn't like the idea of it. I might have to delete that building, to be honest with you. No. Let's try again. Too much of a slope. I don't know what they're talking about right now. That is not too much of a slope. That is it's almost level. It's honestly almost level. Right, I'm gonna go really long so the slope is very great. Too much curvature. What are they talking about? Right, done it really short now, okay? You just gotta do what you gotta do, boys. That's all I can say. Right, the road is really gonna want to try and change here. I can drop it down, but it's not gonna like it. So if I just bring you out there, bring you out there, now go through it, and go through it. Let's do a crisscross. Slope too much. This one, the slope on this one could be too much. What's it like? Yeah, because it is going downhill. And they're on different levels. I've just realised they're actually on different levels. So if I just naturally build this to here, build this to here. Right, they are on a slope, but I reckon I can do something before any chaos ensues, which I can. And this is obviously going to go through here, which is going to cause some headache, but I think we're okay. Right, that station's done. As basic as it needs to be. Oh, minus, and I've got to get them in real quick, otherwise, you know, I'll forget. Underpass there, another underpass just here. One's there, which is perfect. Canopies. There we go, there we go. So, we've got to get it from this elevated kind of scenario down and then bending in. Now, I reckon there is an ability here to get that elevated train line to somewhat come to here and connect to that. So, if I brought this down in what would be considered a straight line, all I've got to get this to do is to swoop around. Like that. So it kind of runs with the high-speed train line on the side. But then obviously this would elevate upwards. Now, it's harder to parallel something that's going to be elevated. So if I bring it to here and then start to rise it up. But then change it to... No, I'm not going to go steel. I'll go with this style. There. Now, the bridge pillar expansions should cause me issues at some point. But apparently no. Right, they work to a certain point. Like here. That's gone to plan a little bit too good. You know what I mean? Now that comes out here and then eventually meets it down. Which is great. Right. It avoids the crisscrosses, so it allows the buildings underneath to stay and remain there. We would need a crisscross. Now, this is going to be tricky because of the bridge pillar expansion stuff. So it could be... Oh, hang on. If I can do it here... Because there's a way to get around it. You get rid of this bridge here and build from the platform, and then you don't have the pillars. But that should be okay. So that runs out. Now, you got to remember, when I get these running out as well, on these will kind of all run. Almost with this elevation. But when I come to do that, I have to kind of completely change all this bridge. So it's not a bridge pillar one. It comes off the platform where there's no pillars whatsoever. But that'll be when I come to build it. But there'll be multiple lines coming out. And then them two lines there, one will go to the left and one will go straight on somewhere else. I'm not too sure yet. I haven't decided. But you see what I mean? You see what I mean? This is going to be an interesting test. Now, we've done the one, okay. We've got to build this one. Now, this one's going to be different because the bend in question is going to be a lot tighter, but it's not unheard of, and we can still do it. So, I'm going to have to delete this road, right? We're going to get the streets. We're going to build you. Well, first and foremost, you going straight out. So that should be somewhat of a straight line. And that wants to bend round there. So I'm going to have to kind of like make up a connection. And it should now fit in the middle. So if we speed run this build. Bam. And them roads should be pushed further back now seeing it. Platforms, you're in there. Tracks. And it has got to go this way, right? Yeah, because it'll come through there and it'll bend this way behind and go up. Right, yeah. I've placed that down, not even paying attention to where it's all got to run. Platforms. All the passenger net. Apart from this last one. Now, right to the end. Miscellaneous. Underpass. Goes there. Goes there. Canopies, there. And then passenger buildings. Can I get the big boy in? No. Next best big boy? Yes. Right. That's him. So, this is going to be easier said than done on the bend. So it'll kind of bend round and suck itself back in. We're going to have to do the crisscrosses after the road. So I'm going to bring that to here. Bring you to there. I should be able to do these bend-ins before this. Which I can. Crisscross now taking place. Of course, we've got issues with the slope. got issues because it is on 2 different levels. So I might have to push it out a little bit further. Actually, no. What I'll do is I'll build it from here. So that remains the same level now. There we go. There we go. Bit annoying that we have to do it like that, but it is what it is. Now, we've got to try and raise this up as much as we can. So if I bring it to... I mean, we're fighting the raisin, but if I bring it to there... Bring you to there. And then we'll do this style of bridge. I'm asking for a lot with this. But that's exactly how I want it to work. Now, I've got to do a crisscross. To which I'm trying to attempt on a bend. Which it works. What have we done? What have we done? Is this something that should stay like this? Should we keep it like this, boys? Should I keep this elevated line in? Just imagine when it's extended further to other stops and stations and cities, and then we've done the other 3 in the middle. Wild, right? Now, before I do actually make it work, let me just get this side now up and running. So let me build their crisscross here. Right, what's the issue now? What's the issue now, boys? There we go. Directly in. Bam. So, just so I know, train line's going to run down this way with the passenger line behind this food area. Which, who knows? We could bring wheat to it, and then it's producing food. I could put a stop on this line, and it's all a part of it then, isn't it? So that's a little bit of a tight bend, though. So I could take a little bit of the edge off there. Bring this a little bit further down to about there. So the bend in question, not as sharp, but it is a tight bend. But off it goes, running down into this town just here. Glorious. Glorious, boys. Glorious. Now, I could maybe have made this bend that way to kind of suck itself in. That maybe would have made this whole area a little bit happier. Because I don't like that bend. This one's great. I just don't like this wiggle. So I'm going to delete it from here. And then, unfortunately, we're going to have to delete from there. Ouch. I wasn't meant to delete that road. Wasn't meant to delete that road. Sorry, guys. Sorry. We'll make it go there. So I've got to bend this now round. So bringing it out like that, raising it up. So that slight deviation to the left right now should be all I need to bend this round and in. See, that's a lot better now. It's not, still not perfect, but I'm going to go with that. And there we go. It's still not perfect, but it will do. I really don't like it. I'll be honest with you guys, I really don't like it. So, no, don't delete that, Seniac. Don't delete that. We're going to set it up ourselves, okay? we're going to set it up ourselves. It's going to be a lot better. It's going to be a lot better, boys, okay? It's going to be a lot better. I promise you this. I promise you this. Alright. We'll come off the station, okay? We'll come off this station. So raise you up. And what we want... Actually, first, what we'll do first is we'll kind of come out a little bit. So a little bit of straightness. Have a better degree angle of a bend. And then that should bend in naturally. That looks so much better. I think you need a bit of straight after the station. Oh, I thought that train was on the elevated section there for a second. So it might mean I can get away with doing the crisscross on this little bit. Yeah. Don't turn directly off the platform. Make it go straight a little bit first. Right, glorious. Now, yes, it's only a one-stop station. Okay. It's only a one-stop station. Sorry, free stop. What am I talking about right now? Simple back and forth. Simple back and forth. Nothing too crazy. So let's create a line. That will go here to... Oh, this is interesting. Which one do I select? Is it the top one? Yep. To there. And then back again, baby. Now, I'll make it blue so it stands out. And both ends in Jaipur. Both sides. Lud Hyana. Is that how you pronounce that one, guys? Please let me know in the comment section down below. There we go. Now, we don't have the ability to get a train on this line. So what I'll do is I'll just kind of roughly build this here. Buy a train for it now. Now, I could go for a Metroliner commuter train, but we should kind of maybe just build our own. So that multi-unit... Oh, we could do a diesel variant, couldn't we? The Zephyr right now. 1.2 million, 52 capacity. Right, we're buying you. I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but we're buying you. Right, what line is this? Is it line 11? It's not highlighting to tell me what line it is. It is line 11. There we go. Oh, it wasn't highlighting because it doesn't go there. Full. So like I said, boys, this is a complete experiment. Okay? I haven't done any signals because at the minute there's only one train on there. We don't really need to do any more. I'm not sure how I feel about this bit. I feel like I need to rebuild this bridge. That's how I feel. We should kind of slightly rebuild the bridge. Because the gradient drops off here when it could be a very even gradient on the whole bridge. Do you know what? I'm going to rebuild the bridge. Alright, bear with me, boys. Oh, I'm deleting buildings. Sorry. Stop deleting buildings. Wait, what do you mean I can't delete the bridge? You won't let me delete the bridge. I'm going to have to delete the buildings. I've had to delete the buildings because the bridge would not delete itself. Oh, now I've deleted the train track there. Right. You're in. I'm going to come off the platform, okay? So if I come directly off the platform to begin with, just like initially run it all the way down, it won't work like that. So what I've got to do is come off the platform. Firstly, we'll come off a little bit of a straight line. And then from there to there, if I can get it. see, now it goes well to that one. I think it's this here. Let me delete back a bit more. And unless I just make it go through this first. Right, the road is not liking this. So let me just initially get past this road. Oh, it's bumping up the road, isn't it? Sorry, not the road. The train track. I know why, because we told it to do that. Let me just go to about there, just so it's initially past the crossroads. Because that crossroad is there because of... Actually, I don't know why it's there. No harm in having it. But is that now too much for a bridge? So let's build it off this one. So the answer is yes. I've got to get this raised up. So bring it to about there. Raise it up. So maybe this is a better idea to have it elevated a lot further back. This is like why I said it's completely trial and error at the moment. It works, but I'm not a fan of it. So what if I just delete you, come off the train station? Let's see how this looks. Just gotta now wait for autosave. Just gotta now wait for the autosave. Right. For me, it does look a better... Oh, I know why it's not working. I know why it visually doesn't make sense. I know why. Because when I've ran commuter lines next to the high-speed train lines, I put a 2-train gap. You see? Ah, and over here... what I've done is snapped it to it. Now it makes sense. Delete you, delete you, delete you to there. So what I've got to do, in reality, is build this here. I mean, I could. There's also nothing stopping me making it a 1 gap. What does a 1 gap look like? Because it hasn't got to be as harsh as 2. Do you reckon a 1 gap is fine? Let me bend that to there. Do you reckon a 1 gap is fine? Or do you reckon I should do the 2? Let me see what a 1 gap looks like. So you would go... Sorry, let's build it from here to there. How does that look? I'm going to say I feel like it needs to be a 2 gap. Right, I will promise you guys this will be the final time I do it. But this is what the experiment was all about. Alright, it's a 2 gap, baby. It's a 2 gap. Alright, bring it all the way down to there. So this should be it. Now, it does mean I won't get the buildings on the very side here, but that's fine. Oh, hold on. No. Right, I just realized what's happening. Because I've had to kind of... Right, I'll explain now what I'm talking about. Because I had to because I had it stuck to it, there was a point where I had to then make the train line elevate up. And to do that meant that I had to bring it away from the snap. So it kind of deviated slightly. So if I bring that to there, that's now running in a straight line. It doesn't seem it because of the terrain going up. So you're into there. That now bends round with it. Well, at least it should do anyway. Right, let me look from here. Yes, that's better. That is better, boys. That is better. But now we got it to there. I wonder if I can then maybe grading it a little bit further down. So if I delete... We're going to do the grading a bit further now. So from there... We'll bring it to here. So the dirt mound's not right against the road is what I'm trying to accomplish. Alright, there is a little bit of off-centeredness, but run you in. Run you in. La-dee-da. That's so much better. It took longer than it needed to, but it's so much better. So we should be able to do the crisscross. And of course, we then should be able to do the old bender Rooney. Bring you in, bring you in, bring you down. Which, there is now a faster speed. It was like 48 before, so we've gained nearly 10 miles an hour on that bend. Right, that took longer than it should have. Boys, took longer than it should have. But that's now going to do exactly what I needed to do. It's going to look a lot better. And we're back in business. I forgot it wasn't attached to the high-speed train line, and there's a 2 train line gap in the middle. That is so much better. That looks so much better now as the approach. That looks really good. Right, this is wild. So what I've now done is create public transport from Lud over here. So you might see less vehicles now driving. And we've created public transport from Drive Per, which they kind of have to go the long way around, which, actually no, they drive down here, don't they? So you might see less vehicles now driving down this route. So let's fast forward and give it some time. Here comes that train coming in right now. Nobody on board just yet, but I don't expect there to be because we've only just created the line, technically. And that train is now coming in. Hold on, here it is. For the first time ever, to our stacked elevated train station in New Delhi. You wouldn't think it there is a whole other station underneath. Crazy, right? Absolutely crazy. So it'll take a while to see if that's going to make any cash right now. It will take some time. And it does need to be extended to other areas, obviously. Now, we've kind of got to figure out as well, where is the other line going to go? Because we do have 2 other connections in. Now, the very right-hand side here is obviously going to come up here and then bend to go across into Bear Lily, is that how you pronounce it? And then down to Lucknow, and then off it goes. So that will bend up there and go that way, but then obviously as it comes down this way, it can kind of go down and then bend this way, so I can create a big U shape here. Or I could create a loop. I honestly could create a loop, boys. Which then leaves me with another line in the middle. Which that line there could maybe go up and start in is it Dehradun? Is that how you pronounce it? Or it could also go through this stop as well, but where that one bends that way, this one comes up and across and then connects up to some stations up in more of the north areas. And then in terms of in the center coming down, where one goes that way and then one goes that way, this one comes through here and then through this town, going all the way down, maybe comes to the last stop in the big coastal run that will obviously come to an end at some point. At the minute, it ends in Mumbai. So that will be the crossover there. Unless that line goes all the way up into New Delhi. That is a long line. But that could be one way we get it to make serious cash. Could be interesting, guys. Could be interesting. Could be interesting. So these towns will have a little bit of a growth spurt now. You can see they're already now starting to expand and grow. 1, to recover the damage that I incurred. And 2, to grow bigger because now all of a sudden they've got extra destinational traffic. You know what I mean? Like this town over here has got 0, but now we got the train station in. We've created the percentage growth. So we've now increased what this city could grow to. New Delhi obviously would have taken a little bit of a hit. As you can see, it did take a hit. But then it skyrocketed even more. Now, do you reckon we need to kind of sort out the road network with this area? Or do you reckon should we just let New Delhi sprawl itself? That would be kind of interesting. All right, this train's got 3 people on board. It's going to take a lot more people back, though. From 3 people to 29. Yeah. Actually, it's not that far off actually turning a profit. Believe it or not. And then there's a few people waiting there. But you got to build this area up a little bit more. You really do. You really do. So let me know what you guys think. Is the elevated stack station here to stay? Let me know in the comment section down below, guys. But we are going to end it here. This is absolutely crazy, absolutely wild. And I'll be honest with you right now, guys. I absolutely love it. I really do. I really do. It's going to be good for us. It should be good for us. Nicely built over the top. And we've got 3 lines to kind of run stuff in. When it comes to cargo, we'll do cargo completely different. We won't even bring them into these stations. We'll bring them onto the outskirts somewhere, or we'll do something that will allow us to kind of filter in the cargo. But it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Right, that train then, in terms of finances, how many people has it got on board? 11. Let's just see what it does once it stops here. How many people are waiting here, by the way? Oh my goodness me, there's 59 people waiting there. That train's going to go back full. It really is, guys. It's going to go back full right now. All right, in it comes. In terms of finances, not that much more money, but it's going to go back filled to the brim. 52, and there's still 11 people waiting there. Damn. Damn, son. Damn. So let's check our monies lately. Now, last episode, we spent an absolute fortune, which is why our expenses toppled $500 million. That was upgrading our whole high-speed train line. Since that investment, the money has creeped up, and last year being our biggest year for income yet, at $367 million. Now, of course, we're going to push it a little bit further in these next coming episodes, and we're going to cause absolute chaos in this region. New Delhi is growing. It's going to cross over 1,000 residents. Look at that. Look at that huge spike since I built the stacked elevated station linking to 2 more areas. Wild. Absolutely wild, boys. If New Delhi never had the river in the middle, all this here in the middle will be filled with buildings. That is even more scary. That really is. Right, guys, we're going to end it here. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, smash that like button down below. And until next time, I'll see you all soon. So, goodbye.